Does this have anything?
That has everything to do with it.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. I'm Paul Scheer.
Hi, I'm Rob Hubel.
And this is the only live streaming Who's the Boss show
that we're aware of,
especially that takes place on Thursdays from 5 p.m. to whenever we want to end it.
Pacific and I'll time. say this at the outset. If you don't know the show, Who's the Boss, don't worry. Like we don't go, you're not going to be lost. I know a lot of people say, yeah, that was before me. I don't know the show. Sometimes you got to open yourself up to new
by the way,
experiences.
let me tell you. Do you know what the Statue of Liberty is? Because that was before you too, right?
Yeah, great analogy. Great, man. You just took all the doubters, and you were like, "Fuck you!" Just pow.
Take your excuses and put them where Mona would put them, where the sun don't shine.
That must be one of the characters on Who's the Boss, I'm assuming.
Yeah, look, this is, as always, an introduction to Who's the Boss, a celebration of Who's the Boss, an analysis of Who's the Boss, and a deep dive into the episodes that made Who's the Boss great. Also, some casual conversation.
So I would argue, we kind of, just a few weeks ago, started really getting into Who's the Boss as the theme of the show.
Yeah. After a couple years, we've really honed in on the theme.
Because, we did a lot of market research, and people say, you need some kind of theme. And so it was obvious. And when it wasn't being done, we said, well, we got to do it. But we haven't really gone very deep, Paul.
No, well,
we keep getting distracted. We keep getting, we'll go off on tangents. We'll start talking about funny, anecdotes. You always have
the intentions are good. The intentions are good. The execution is bad, but we understand one thing. In the podcast live streaming show space, the number one cash cow is recap shows, whether you have a Lost show, a Gossip Girl show, a Mad Men show. This is where the big bucks are, and we have picked America's favorite sitcom, Who's the Boss. And when we get to an episode, there it is. Who's the boss of the show. And so far, I got to say, even though we've only been a little bit into it, Rob, it's going great. We talked last week about, we announced the show.
Well, also, I wanted to update you where we are financially, because I've been, I'm the treasurer of the show, and we've been getting a lot of deals, a lot of branding deals. I emailed you a list of brands that we are supposed to mention, so you don't have to make a big deal about it, but just casually, if you want to, bring it up, because we are getting paid by brands now. So there's a lot more money in it for you and I.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you this much, Rob. Pop the champagne of beers. Miller Lite is it's Miller Lite time, because we have some very special announcements. So you're going to want to crunch into this like a Nabisco cheddar cracker.
I should have told you. They did say you don't run them all together like that. So if you're going to do it, you kind of like,
hey man, put me in the Shake Shack. I'm guilty as charged.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So just kind of spread it out. And also, they said you can do it, but you try to be a little sly about it, like a little more conversational.
Got it. Nissan Sentra.
No, like, here, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love my wife. I love being in a Christian marriage. I love family values, and
love that.
Not spanking my kid. We were going on a Christian camp out the other day in my Nissan Sentra.
Oh, I like that.
And we had a great time, and we went out, and it was too cloudy, so we came back. We didn't spend the night because it was too dangerous.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Because Satan will attack when it's cloudy and it's dark. That's when Satan comes out. So we drove home in our Nissan Sentra.
I get it. This is, I got it. Can I try it one more time?
Absolutely. But maybe use a brand, or you plug whoever is on the list.
Okay.
Go on the list, whatever you want.
All right. Okay. Well, Rob, I've been married almost now for almost 13 years.
God.
And my wife, Clausen Dill Pickles is one of the most amazing people in my life, and
Gorgeous.
and
Gorgeous
she's
lady.
gorgeous. And you know what? She's perfect for any event, whether we want to go casual at a barbecue or we want to maybe step it up and do something nice for the holidays. Clausen Dill Pickles, my wife, is one of the things that goes with anything, because Clausen Dill Pickles, my wife, is
Can
always.
I stop you for 1 second? Because kind of getting into a little bit of a tricky area. I don't think you would use the product name as your wife. We all know who your wife is. Your wife is a famous actress, June Diane Raphael.
She was on Frankie and Gracie.
Yeah, well, that's not how they call it. Anyway.
Okay.
What you're supposed to do is you can't outright lie and say that your wife's name is the name of the product. Everyone will know that you're lying. That's fake. All of this is fake.
Got it.
So it has to be a little bit, it should feel like an anecdote or like a little story or something like that. And then you can kind of casually drop it in like I did.
So like somebody brought this up. Like, so I should have my wife change her name?
No, I wouldn't do that. I mean, first of all, June wouldn't agree to change her name to Clausen Dill Pickles.
Well, how much are they paying us?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you want, I can go back to them and ask if Paul's wife.
If you think you got this figured out, I would love to see you talk about your wonderful wife or your child and do it the right way.
Okay, great. Part of being in a Christian marriage is commitment, making time for your kids. And my kids are very demanding. My kids are always, you know how it is, Paul, you're a dad and you have 2 kids. I just have 1, but my kids are always wanting me to, help them with their homework or say our prayers together at night for 2 hours or 3 hours. Or can we just have dinner together, Papa? Yes, we can. Let's have what I like is Stouffer's French crust pizza. So last night we had I was like, well, what am I going to make? My family's counting on me. They're hungry. We're getting ready to go say our prayers for 3 hours. And my daughter said, I could go for a Stouffer's French crust pizza. And I said, hey, let's vote on it. So we all voted. My wife voted, my daughter voted, and we all voted for Stouffer's French crust pizza, and that's what we had, and it was delicious. And then
all right. Well, first of all, Rob,
so something like that.
I want to just say to you, I know you're trying to show me the exercise, but you do have to mention a product name in there. You didn't mention anything. I mean, you got me hungry for Stouffer's French crust pizza, but I didn't hear any product name. What?
Yeah.
What? Oh my God.
So that's how you do it. You tell a story about real life and you just drop it in around the edges, and then they don't know. Okay. They don't know.
Okay.
But so we have other business to get into. If you're new to the show, we already said our names. Hey, Paul, all bits aside, I can't give enough love to the theme song. I just
brand new
like it. I like the theme song. McDougal made that, is that right? Who made it?
I think this is a new, McDougal made it, and I feel like there are clips in there from recent episodes. I was just jamming out to it. I was relaxed to it.
There's something about it that is really like a positive and like uplifting. Like it's like easy to listen to. It's got Ken in there who we love, and Manzukis and Pally and whatever. But it's just I really like it.
Is it better than this?
I mean, that's great. That is great. Although controversial. There's a clip in there. I think it's from The League where a woman is straddling me and I'm having simulated. I want to make it clear to the viewer that is not actual lovemaking. That's simulated.
There were, but you
was that
were
from the
very,
league? Am I
that was
that?
from the league, but
Okay.
you said something very specific. You said, I remember that day. You said, I don't need an intimacy coordinator. I know how to do it.
I did say that.
And you said millions of women have told me that I'm the best at it.
I did say that.
And
Is that
because you'll come on sets, on other people's sets, to tell them not to help the intimacy, but just to kind of, how you would do it. It's like a Picasso giving a brush stroke.
Well, yeah, a lot of people, I got a lot of pushback on that, actually. Thank you for bringing it up. People were upset because, one, I got a lot of intimacy coordinators fired because I wrote letters. It takes very little to get them fired. If you write any kind of letter or complain about them, you can get them fired really easily.
And a lot of times they have those drafts right in Microsoft Word or Google Docs. It's right there.
Yeah, it's a template. And so I got a lot of intimacy coordinators fired from different shows and movies. I went in there and then replaced them. And you know how I am about sex and intimacy. I'm like, hey, it's a free for all, guys. Let's just have fun.
What you always say about sex, I always remember. You say, hey man, it's just hide and go seek with your body.
That's exactly what it is. That's how I was taught. And that is exactly what it is. It's the classic kids game, but only for grown-ups.
Yeah. I mean that that is,
but I don't remember that clip. I don't remember that scene.
Rob, I will tell you, when I see those things, I don't remember any of those scenes that we shot from the league. Because they were.
I remember the Arsenio talk show where you're Arsenio. And
I remember that. Yeah.
Who am I? Who's that?
You
wrestler?
Played the Randy Macho Man Savage.
No, that's not Macho Man. That's
you played American Warrior or
the something Warrior. Craziest Warrior, or whatever. Ultimate Warrior. Thank you, buddy.
But yeah, no, I mean not too
craziest Warrior.
Craziest Warrior is a good new name for you. I don't know if you've been following anything in the wrestling world, but AEW is. We went to go see some smaller wrestling circus out in downtown LA and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's really amazing. And this group formed out of that became AEW. And AEW is like now this big, was number one rated.
Where you turned on Funches, if I remember correctly?
No, that was one of the more local like pay-per-view ones. And there's a different title for them than what I'm using. But the AEW is like a TNT kind of AEW, a TNT show. It's a big like number one show. It's like kind of stealing the audience away from WWE. Yeah. And man, oh man, this guy, CM Punk, who I am friends with through another friend, lovely guy. He's the world champion. Did this thing that Rob, I need you to watch. I may even have to pull it up at one point. He just let loose. There's been a lot of talk about him, and he went backstage at like a post wrestling match press conference and just unleashed. But the way that he does it is he sits down, and it's like you're at like it's like it's like a media scrum. So he's at a table. There's all these people taking pictures, asking questions. He sits down and very quietly takes out 6 Spindrift carbonated waters, lays them all out in front of him, and then takes out like a bakery box and then opens up the bakery box and starts eating baked goods, and then just proceeds to hold court for 45 minutes and basically like give the State of the Union to what is wrong in AEW and wrestling. And I've never seen somebody more confidently like ballsy than this, eating muffins and drinking Spindrift. It's like a bit that we would do in a show.
That's hilarious. Did he was that like planned, or was it a legit like, oh, I'm gonna
it's like
turn the industry
they called it a pipe, they call it a pipe bomb when it's written, but this is like a real deal. Like this was him calling people out. And then, as a matter of fact, after he left the stage, he got into a fist fight with a bunch of the other wrestlers, and they've all now been suspended.
Oh, wow. A real fist fight.
Yeah. This is CM Punk, who I like a lot. And there's a lot of backstory to it.
Now, I don't know how the wrestling world works. By your publicly saying this, aligning yourself with him, are you endangering yourself physically?
Good.
Will
It's a
people?
good look. There's a lot of people who don't like, look, part of wrestling is you got to pick sides. You got to pick favorites, right? I love the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks have been very good to me. CM Punk, nice guy. I've hung out with him. Great guy. I can also side with different people in different moments.
But now what I'm saying is, Paul, you have a family, you have kids.
I know this.
I know that you know this. What I'm asking
I've
is,
met them multiple times. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sometimes the way you frame things, it sounds so suspicious. I'll be honest with you, man. Like when you say stuff,
I'm not renting my kids. What?
I'm not renting my kids. I've met my family multiple times. I was making a whole other point about the wrestling world and whether your allegiance to this one character could put you in physical danger if you're going to the grocery store.
I'm just saying
that
if anyone says to you that he rents his kids and he's not actually married to his wife, it's just a legally binding document that he signed 12 years ago. That's totally false.
No.
Okay.
No one brought it up, dude.
Okay.
You're like self-owning. Like you always come on here and you dig yourself into a hole, and then it takes you like.
All right, I'm not going to say
okay, great example. Last week, we were all mourning the death of our queen, the queen of. I know that technically there was an American Revolution and we broke away from England, but did we really?
Yeah, we definitely did.
Well, she's our queen. We were in mourning. Last week, I heard that you were maybe responsible for her death. And for people just, if you didn't see last week's show,
I was unavailable.
You were mysteriously unavailable. And Wriggle was on here, and I was telling Wriggle the update that I think Paul might have had something to do with the Queen's death, at which point.
Right. Yes, I remember.
Sorry, there's an Amazon guy at my house who startled me because he was singing when he dropped off a package. Let me just look. Yeah. I'm looking at my security cameras.
Just let him in. Just let him into the house.
No, I'm talking about people coming to your house to kill you, and I hear a strange man singing at my front door. So
I didn't. All right. So
let's go back to that. Let's go back to that. Did you have anything to do with the death of the Queen?
Okay, so just to be clear on the question,
it's a yes or no question.
To be clear on the question, your question is, did I actively choke out or shoot or stab the Queen? The answer is no.
I didn't ask the method of her execution. I'm asking, were you hired or paid by a third party?
Okay, stop there. Was I hired or paid? No.
Okay. Did you volunteer for some nefarious reason did you have anything to do with the death of the Queen?
It's a great question, Rob. And I think what I would turn to you is the question back to you, which is like, why are you so interested in what I do when it's my business? Like,
okay. You've already answered. Your delay speaks volumes. So
okay. Well, look, Rob, you and I
do you believe in the monarchy? Do you believe in the monarchy?
Definitely not.
Okay.
Prince Charles has appointed himself to a throne of lies. Okay. And when we get to that throne, we will make sure that throne has no legs and no seat, because that coward has to sit on the floor.
I don't get,
All I want to say is this, Rob. Right now, a week before last week, I wasn't able to join you on the show for unexplained reasons. It happened to be the day that the Queen died. Now, the week before, we were talking about BossCon, the Who's the Boss convention that we are doing.
I'm excited
as an outgrowth
I'm excited
of our podcast. Yes. Yeah. And we were worried about the rentals and the food, and we were worried, would we make money? Or not would we make money, but will we have enough money to put down to build the infrastructure? And I can now tell you
it's expensive. Yeah.
That BossCon is a go. Molly, can you please throw up that slide? BossCon is here. We've had some of the people in the Discord helped us put this together. It's a very expensive BossCon. hosted by Rob and Paul.
Yeah.
We've gotten confirmation that Meghan Markle is definitely now, based on the events of last week, she's definitely in.
Meghan Markle is in for Who's the Boss Con.
Yes. Halle Berry and Vivica A. Fox will have a final confrontation, which will be from the spinoff of the other show called Living Dolls.
Living Dolls. Yeah.
Yes. And we will have, yes. Yeah, we'll have some great musical performances.
On the poster, it says Harry Styles. Is that confirmed?
That wasn't supposed to be on the poster.
Okay, well, let's leave it on there for now to boost sales, and then
I don't think you'll be disappointed. It may just be a legal thing that we can't say Harry Styles will be performing the theme song to Who's the Boss live for the first time ever for his brand new album.
Great. By the way, yeah, I know that this is going to be somewhere in Connecticut because I'm looking at the poster and we haven't.
Somewhere in Connecticut. We will not announce that until 24 hours before because we cannot allow the building to become compromised in any way. People hiding in the rafters.
I want people to know, and I've said this previously because a lot of people think we're joking. This is a sincere con. We're not sincere. This is a real event. It is live. We will be there.
It will be in Connecticut.
It will be in Connecticut. All of these guests will be there. We are selling tickets. We are going to make a lot of money. You, the listener, you, the viewer, are going to have the time of your life. For the viewer, this is a time to shed all of your inhibitions, if you know what I mean. Because we're going to go
have cosplay. We will have furry play. We will have all the play. We also have this new thing that I didn't want to even bring it up, but I think I will just because I feel like people are asking a lot of questions. We're going to have 7 minutes in heaven in the actual van that Tony Danza drove in the pilot episode of Who's the Boss. 7 minutes in heaven. You can do whatever you want in that van. We will take people from either side. We are not, we believe in gender fluidity. So it's not a men's line and a women's line. It is a left and right side line.
It's going to be a mixed bag. You get in there and, the whole idea is just physical pleasure. So whatever that.
And so one person gets in on the driver's side, one person gets in on the passenger side. You don't know who you'll be spending 7 minutes in heaven with, but you will be spending 7 minutes in heaven with someone in that van.
You got to sign. You do need to sign the release. You will sign the release. Oh, Eric Germ is asking, will Kid and Play be there? I don't know. We've worked on that. They've been a little cagey so far. I think Play wants to do it. I'm not sure about Kid.
Well, right now it's a money issue, and honestly, I think the issue that we're having with them is burying the hatchet because originally, I guess.
Some beef, right?
Yeah, there was some beef. I think that Tony Danza was supposed to be the dad in House Party.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
That was he dropped out at the last minute,
right? And
then they got a fantastic replacement for him, but it was a touch and go moment there.
Now, I will tell people this: Judith Light's lawyers have threatened to sue. Anyone that by buying a ticket, you open yourself up to this lawsuit. But what Paul and I are going to do is we're going to countersue a class action lawsuit against Judith. And so we could all make a lot of money. We could all make a lot of money with these class action lawsuits are now a big thing. And it's an easy way to make a lot of money.
Well, the other thing that we're doing is not only are we having Judith Light impersonators, but we're having Judith Light lawyer impersonators. So we will never know what subpoena is real, what affidavit is real. And we're trying to flood the convention with multiple cosplayers of Judith Light's lawyer, because if they that will help us.
They can't get all of us. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Now, a lot of people have said, hey, I don't, what's the deal with security? Is there going to be, will there be security guards? We've hired the Oath Keepers. Everybody knows the Oath Keepers now. And we've hired them and the 3%ers and all those guys to come and just keep the place safe and fun for everybody. So
yeah, we are going to have, we are giving them a tour of the space beforehand so they will understand all the access routes and they will be able to get in there. All right. So Eric Germ brings this up. There's a very good point. Sounds like simply walking into the space is opening yourself up to a legal liability. But I also feel like that's the goal. Well, look, once you enter into this space, it is a legally binding contract that Rob and yourself and I are now part of a team. And that team is going to be responsible for taking care of each other in multiple ways, financially and physically. And we are going to start a new world, a new revolution, a new world order that is based on the tenets, the laws of Who's the Boss.
Of Who's the Boss. Yeah, absolutely.
Proud boss. Rob, I wanted to talk to you about something because
what is it? Is there something on your mind?
There is something on my mind. There was a story that I read today that I thought would actually be great for BossCon.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you heard about this, but in my circles here in LA, I was at a party, and
what kind of party?
A Hollywood party.
Recently?
A recent Hollywood party.
Was it Emmy Award related?
It was not Emmy Award related. It was actually around a positive social issue, which is good. But when I was at that party,
you're talking about flushing snakes down the toilet.
Yes. No, we need to get these snakes into the sewer system because snakes eat poop, and then that actually helps recycle better. But I don't want to get into my climate change soapbox right now.
Okay.
But around the party, I had heard this thing said. I said, "Oh yeah, he got leg implants to be taller."
Oh,
and I was like,
I saw something about this.
Yeah, and I was like, "Wait, what do you mean?" Like, "Oh no, he got leg implants during COVID to get taller." I was like, "That does not exist. That is not a thing." And like, I swear to God, it's a thing. People are getting leg implants,
dudes, mostly dudes, yeah.
And I didn't believe it for a fucking second. And then today, GQ pops out this article. Check this out.
I saw it. I saw it on Twitter. I think the person that wrote it. Yeah.
It's wild. They put this like rod in your leg.
So what are they doing? Are they taking out a bone and just replacing it with a longer fake bone, or they're just breaking your leg? That looks like they break your leg and just extend it.
That's apparently what happens. I think they break your leg and then they insert a rod into your leg and then give you
significantly taller. I mean,
well, so these are the legs that these are going in. They cut it, extend it, and then the bone refuses around it. That's what it is. Okay. So yeah,
so you spoke with someone at a Hollywood party, because I feel like we might be breaking news here, Paul. You spoke with someone that had this or knew someone?
It was a gossipy moment where people said, "I believe this happened because this person looked taller."
The person was at the party?
Yes. And I was like, "That's
Did you see the person?"
Yes, and I was like, "I just don't believe that."
Is it a famous person?
Yeah.
Well, Paul, we gotta.
I can't reveal my source. I can't reveal my.
If we guess it, will you tell us?
Yes.
Okay.
But now, by the way,
light them up. Comments.
Previously, it was banned in the United States. And this is like what it looks like. This is a guy who got it done.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's it looks not normal. I mean, that person
it's
that
a longer
that leg does not fit your torso. You know what I mean? Like
Molly, can I tell your story, Molly, or no? Okay. So yes. Molly knows a child, or not currently, but knew a child who got that happen, that got a leg extension, and now as an adult looks very bizarre because of it.
What?
Now look at this. So this is from
a child.
So this is from Mega Gildy. I'm going to read it. This is what they do. Okay, I'm putting it up on screen. Everyone can read it, but it says they insert a rod that can go up to 2 to 3 millimeters a day. It takes about 3 to 5 months to fully extend, depending on how long you go. Typically, they go 2 to 3 inches. Some break the femur and tibia to be 4 to 6 inches. I looked into this a lot. It's not banned. Insurance won't cover it for cosmetic reasons, and it takes 8 to 12 months to get it 90% again.
I gotta say, this sounds like a huge procedure for like being 2 inches taller. I mean, maybe
Patrick, no, it is not. This is Patrick. We all know Patrick from the George Lucas Talk Show.
Is it great question? Is it Lily Tomlin?
Not Lily Tomlin.
Is it Jane?
Is it Jane? It is not a woman. It seems like this is a male based thing.
I'm gonna try to well, first of all, I need to know where the party was. Was it that
No,
big
I can't give
party?
you give you very many specifics because I would gladly tell you off the air.
No, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want all of us to know.
I guess what I would say is this.
Okay.
When you saw the person, it wouldn't register with you that they did. And that's why it wasn't like, oh, this very small person is now.
They were already tall?
Like, they were average. Okay. Like so much so. And look, okay, somebody just called it out right here. It must be Tony Shalhoub. Now, look, you know that legally I can't talk about Tony Shalhoub on this show because
Why is that?
I had a fanzine that went off the rails.
Okay.
It was a monk fanzine. That I guess the issue that's in question is I did a parody of If I Did It, that OJ book where he kind of tells how he would have committed a double homicide if but he didn't, but he knew all the specifics of how to. I did something like that for Monk that then caused me some great legal trouble, and I can't get into the specifics of it, but I can no longer talk about Tony Shalhoub in any positive or negative way on the podcast. But it is not Tony Shalhoub, but I will say it is someone of a Tony Shalhoub like build.
I don't know what that means. What is his build? So not because Tony Shalhoub isn't
neither tall nor short. That's all I mean. Neither tall.
Okay.
And
that was a long walk just to get out that you can't talk about Tony Shalhoub.
Legally, I can't talk about Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid is kind of a tall guy. Okay, I'm gonna guess just because
Shalhoub adjacent.
Was it not Mr. Wonderful, but who's the other guy on Shark Tank? The
guy Robert Herjavec?
Yeah, whose dad died and he's always crying. Getting close. Cuban. Mark Cuban.
Rob,
it sounds like it was Cuban because Cuban would have the money for it.
I can't confirm or deny.
I feel like it's Cuban.
Confirm or deny that it's Mark Cuban.
Wow.
Or is it the dude who invented Uber who's also on Shark Tank? I don't know.
But let me ask you this. Knowing what you know about the procedure, you are, when I look at you, I don't think of you as when I'm looking at you right now, I can't tell that you are only 4 feet tall. Because on a computer, on a computer, you seem the same size. Like I just saw a picture today of Putin with all these other thug, rogue world leaders, and he's like,
"Hey, watch your mouth."
But Putin is like this big. He's like I never
very virile man, a very virile man. People see him on that. People see him on that horse. They don't realize it was actually a pony.
Okay. Well, but in this, I will tell you, in this picture, he looked tiny, like the guy from Turkey. I'm going to mispronounce his name, but everybody knows who he is. Erdogan, whatever. Anyway, he looked gigantic. Famous health food store. Yeah. Erdogan. He looked gigantic next to Putin. Putin looks tiny. And so what I'm saying is right now in this framing, you can't tell. I consider myself to be fairly I'm 6'2". You're 4 feet tall. You cannot tell. Is it a procedure that you would consider?
All right. Well, Rob, I was bringing this up because I do want to bring leg extensions to BossCon. But more importantly,
we're not sponsored by leg extensions, are we? Because that wasn't on the list. We've done a lot of talking about it.
Oh, really? Wait on.
Did you?
Shit. Sorry, I made a mistake.
Look at the list, man.
Sorry. I do want to do it for my pinky finger.
You would get your pinky finger extended by how many inches?
6.
To do what? To do like funny,
like, or maybe my pointer finger. But it's
what
like
about if you had it extended and so you could do the Austin Powers bit, like, yeah, baby, or oh yeah, that's great too.
Right? Oh, that's awesome. Oh wait, what's the awesome? What's your?
Well,
Awesome
no, when
Powers?
he does Dr. Evil, or
Oh,
I'm trying
okay.
to think of
Oh,
people that
yeah.
use their pinkies.
We're
Well,
gonna
I don't know.
we could,
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, Paul, and it's a lot of time. There'd be a lot of downtime. It'd be a lot of healing. You'd have to be in, off the. Oh, so you could talk to your kids, be a little
Yeah,
more
no.
scolding. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, maybe. Well, we will see. We will see.
That's a pretty bizarre procedure. Did you say that there was someone that wanted to interview us?
I did. Jack, I don't know if Jack is out and about. Jack, if you're here, you can hit up Molly on the Discord. She can give you the link to jump in. And Jack has a 5-minute interview that he wants to do.
Is this someone that we know? I really
it's somebody we know. We know Jack. Jack Rhapsody he's a person who's staple at our dinosaur shows here in Los Angeles. He also is a staple in the Discord. I love our Discord. If you've not gotten into the Discord, discord.gg/Paul Scheer. But while we're waiting for Jack, can I just show you a second of this thing of this guy? Because I think just for the hell of it, I think you might like this. All right. So because I think that this kind of a character for me is like a perfect Hubel character, CM Punk, the way he does this. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna push this in. Okay, here he is.
Oh wow!
A lot. Just say your name and your.
Cool. Hi, Nick Hausman, Wrestling Inc.
I'll start, Nick. Show of hands. Who here fancies themselves as a journalist? You're a journalist, Nick? All
I
right.
try my best.
Okay.
No,
real quick.
Go ahead.
You still do improv?
No, not a little bit.
No? When you did improv, who'd you do improv with?
I did it with Scott Colton.
What is this?
Since you're yourself a journalist, would you say you're friends with Scott Colton?
No, I haven't talked to Scott in some time.
So you're not friends with him?
No, Scott and I do not see eye to eye.
Oh, wow. Well, that makes two of us. My point is, if you fancy yourself a journalist, even if it's for the silly world of professional wrestling, and you have journalistic integrity, people who report things, mostly that are bullshit and slanderous lies against myself, if you are friends with somebody, you blew my spot. If you're not friends with them, I apologize. It's okay. But you should probably disclose who you're friends with.
I'm not friends with you.
I haven't had anything to do with Scott Colton in almost a decade. Probably wanted nothing to do with him even more.
So this is a little taste of him like lining up lining up your drinks, knowing that you're going to be there that long to drink a 6-pack of carbonated water. To me,
who's the guy next to him that's like who looks terrified?
Well, that's Tony Khan. Tony Khan is the owner of AEW. Tony Khan was a regular
owns AEW wrestling.
Yes, he was a regular at Facebook at UCB.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, and so
a lot of our audience members went on to own corporations. He owns AEW.
Yes, he is a owner. He is a owner. Sorry, not the owner.
Okay.
But I also like that this clip starts off about asking about who does improv. Just like
yeah.
But it is like I want you to watch this thing. It's like you don't even need to know anything. It's just a beautiful moment of someone like raging, like just like they've had enough, and it is truly great.
Didn't Besser teach improv to a bunch of wrestlers at one point? Was that
I know that Matt Walsh taught a bunch of improv to the Harlem Globetrotters. That is true.
I think Besser went in and taught improv to a bunch of anyway.
But he might have. I mean, because I think a lot of people used to come to UCB to be like, how do I get to do this? And wrestlers are improvisers. They're putting on a live show.
Yeah,
They're just like more in shape improvisers.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to play a little bit of that. But Rob,
that's amazing. Do you remember very briefly? I hate talking about improv, but do you remember when there was an improv wrestling show at UCB way back?
Yes,
where I was the owner of the league, and comedians, improvisers would come out as crazy wrestling characters, and they would actually wrestle. Like they would actually do a show. You were on there several times, and like,
Yes.
but
I believe that I hurt you, or I didn't hurt you.
I think you were part of it. You weren't the
yes.
main person.
You had gotten hurt, and I continued to beat you up. Or
yeah, you were. Yeah, I think you stomped on me. I got very injured in this wrestling show. There was a wrestler.
Betsy Stover was her name.
Okay.
Well, she didn't mean to hurt you. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a total accident. But she would do a gimmick every week where she would reach into her, this is obviously fake. And this is very graphic. If there are young children watching this, you're a bad
majority of our audience is 12 to 14 year olds.
12 to 14 year olds. Anyway, Betsy would do this bit. I forgot the name. Oh, her character's name. She was supposed to be a porn star named Hori or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So she would do a bit where she would reach inside of her underpants, I think, or maybe into her person, and take out a can of tuna, a real can of tuna, and she would crack it open and force someone to eat this can of tuna. It was
what you really, like, smell my tuna, right? Or
something like that. Yeah. And it was, it was gross. But anyway, she did that one week. That was kind of her bit when she was like beating up on somebody, and the crowd would go crazy. And so I jumped up. I was the owner of the league, but I also did play-by-play with Mike Delaney.
And you were always in a neck brace.
I was always injured and in a neck brace. So I jumped on stage to help whoever Betsy was beating up on. And I didn't realize Betsy still had the lid from the tuna can in her hand, and it slit my wrist right here. I still have a scar that you can kind of see. It slit my wrist like right here, and blood just started like pulsing out.
And so you went down.
I went down.
Yeah.
And no one knew, there was there's all sorts of fake blood and props and everything. No one knew what had happened. So I'm down. Like,
match was a melee. Like it was, everyone got out there. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a melee at one point in the show. And so, this was always in the last match. And so that was that point in the show. There's 20 people on stage. I go down, and, I'm kind of like, everyone hated me. I was the owner of the league. I was like, what's his face in WWE?
Vince McMahon.
So everyone's like, I remember you like stomping on me.
Well, I've
never talked to you about it. It was excessive.
Well, this is what I remember very clearly, because our characters were like enemies. I think I was another owner or something.
That's right. Yeah.
We owned a rival league.
Yeah.
And so when you went down, I had a baseball bat, like a wiffle ball bat. And so you were down, and I was like, pop, 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 pop. But I kept on like just hitting you constantly in the back. Not hard, but again, if you're bleeding out, you don't need to be hit on the back with a wiffle ball bat. So I was like, and then you got up, and I was like, oh no, I knew it wasn't from me, but you were gushing blood. And look, did we all leave that theater once or twice, like almost to go to the emergency room? Sure. Twice for you.
I remember at the time I didn't have a job, I don't think, and I didn't have insurance. So I had to go get stitched up somewhere, some random, one of those like weirdo clinics in New
like
York,
one of those doc in a box.
Yeah, places. You just pay a couple $100.
Urgent care.
Yeah.
You went to vets, right? You went to like the way that like
you get your dog,
when you get shot, Jeremy Piven's in there like, man, I can't really do this,
What was the other show where guys, remember very briefly there was like an MMA where guys were actually fighting? Like what we were talking about was the comedy wrestling show, but later there was a show where like Gethard and like Jesse Falcon and like
things got pushed too far at UCB in the sake of being like, what can we do to push the limits? I remember the one show that we saw, or that we were a part of, it may have happened even out here in LA, where it was called like the Dirtiest Sketch Show. And the Dirtiest Sketch Show was only supposed to be like a show in which you would do bits that were supposedly like in poor taste, like vulgar, but like that was so easy for us to do, like that after the first couple of months, it was like, well, that's no longer fun, just a vulgar sketch. Like what can we do? And then it got to a point where I remember two dudes both had a gallon of milk each, and they were drinking a gallon of milk, and then the other one would sock the other one in the stomach, and then they would vomit a little bit, and it would go back and forth. And it was like, is this a sketch? I don't know. It was like there was a semblance of a sketch underneath it, but it was like you're just watching two people puke on stage. It was like, is that dirty, or is that like, I don't know. I'm surprised no one got killed during those shows.
Yeah, those were crazy. You know, you brought up the thing about the leg extensions, which made me think of I think a lot of shows do this, but they don't do it the right way. Like a News of the Weird type thing. And we don't really have a graphic or music or anything, but I wanted to practice it as if this were a real segment. I'm gonna give you some wacky news headlines and just get your immediate impression.
These are true.
These are true. These are real headlines, recent of weird news.
And by the way, we are going to get into Molly. What episode is it? We're going to get into the Who's the Boss episode that we promised today.
Yeah,
this is season 3. Yeah, this is a great episode. It's going to be. I'm so excited about talking about this episode today of Who's the Boss. It's
for sure.
Sorry, it's season 3, episode 5. The hickey. Sam comes home with a hickey. Remember when hickeys were all crazy? We're going to get into the hickey in just a little bit, but right now, News of the Weird.
Yeah, we're going to get into it. And if you're a fan of the show, sometimes we get a little distracted, but we're going to get into all that. Okay, News of the Weird, Paul. Tell me what you think about this.
Okay.
Armed man arrested after declaring Trump the president king at a Dairy Queen. Police in Pennsylvania said that the man told officers he intended to kill Democrats and liberals. And this is real. I think this was today or yesterday.
Okay, I got the wrong part of the story.
What's that?
Isn't that what you're supposed to do? They can figure out like what it's like. You figure out like, oh, that's like there's one part of that story that's fake. Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
No. This is just like weird story. This guy was wearing a rainbow wig and a yellow safety vest, and was armed with a .40 caliber pistol at a Dairy Queen, where he like swerved into the line, the ordering, the drive-through, and was like threatening everyone that he was gonna kill all of them.
And what did he get?
No, Paul, it doesn't matter what he ordered. What do you mean?
Okay.
I don't know. It doesn't say what he ordered.
Because I think that story would be very weird if he's like, I'm gonna kill everybody, but can I have a McFlurry?
Well, yeah, I mean that would make
that would be weird.
Okay, here let's just try another one.
Got it.
Okay, New Yorker gets a surprise package.
Okay.
I didn't even finish it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I
have you ever seen? Have you ever done?
I love News of the Weird. Yeah, it's weird news stories.
Okay,
that was a really funny one. The
Let me finish the headline. New Yorker gets a surprise package with living creatures inside. The lizards and iguanas were taken in by a nonprofit that said that live animals are often delivered to the wrong address. Well, I mean, it's not like
it's weird, man. That's weird.
There were live reptiles, a big box of them.
Weird.
Yeah, yes, it is weird. I already said that it was weird.
Mission accomplished.
What is mission accomplished?
For if you were like the editor of the News of the Weird.
Okay, let me do another one.
Okay.
Far right German party hands out gummy bears, but they look like penises by accident. I guess they tried to get like custom gummy bears that somehow the mold looked exactly like a dick. That's weird. Nothing from you?
I just don't like making jokes about German people. They've been through too much.
What have they been through?
They've been through a lot. We all know that like Germans are the redheaded stepchildren of this world. They obviously messed up bad, and they're trying to get back. They're trying to get back into it. And I just don't like to. I don't like to laugh when someone's already down.
So are you talking about because of their Nazi history, we should take it easy on Germany and not? Okay.
I love this segment though. This is a fun segment.
Well, I mean, you're not doing a great job with it.
All right.
Okay. How about this one? Ohio tree trimmer.
Ohio.
No, Paul, let me just finish.
All right,
This is
all
a
right.
tree trimmer in Ohio is expected to survive after suffering 20,000 bee stings. 20. So not funny. No, not funny. You shouldn't be laughing.
Oh, okay.
This
That is weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
But-
You don't, sometimes your reactions are not appropriate for,
Oh my God.
well, that's
Yeah.
almost too much.
20,000.
Here, I'll read you a little bit.
20,000 bee stings. Rob, is he going to be okay?
An Ohio man is awake from his coma after he suffered at least 20,000 bee stings last week. Austin Bellamy was he's 20 years old.
How old is he?
He's 20. He was trimming branches with his grandmother when he cut into a bee's nest, and the bees
and all those bees died. Right?
Sorry, you're sad for the bees?
Yeah, 20,000 bees died. We're losing bees. That's not the weird part of the story.
I mean, it's. I guess technically it is true that the bees are dying, but you're focusing. It's really more. The weird part is that a guy got stung 20,000 times by bees.
Okay, no, I don't think you're doing news of the weird right.
Yeah, I'm just reading you the headlines.
It would be like news of the weird. Man tries to share candy bar with his car, and the car says, "No, thank you. I am Kit."
Well, yeah, that would also be weird. They're not mutually exclusive.
Okay.
There are lots of weird stories. I would argue that example is way too specific. The car can talk, and it's the car from Knight Rider.
Yeah, Kit the car, and he was sharing Kit Kats.
Okay, let me try one more, and then we'll do our interview with this journalist.
Okay,
is this a real journalist or what the fuck?
I'm just drinking out my normal size bottle of water.
So you really are tiny. That's a normal water bottle, and you are. I wasn't sure how tall you were because I haven't seen you in a while, but you may want to think about those leg extensions.
I mean, yeah, I actually got I got a water bottle extension. This is normally it took 10 months to get the bottle to be this big. June doesn't let me.
Are you drinking that much water in a day? You don't have to. June's not watching.
Just 60 ounces, bro. I'll tell you this much though. June makes
60 ounces.
Yeah, June makes me buckle this in the car seat
so that it won't fly out and kill somebody if you bump into them. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like a missile. It's like a rocket.
Okay, let me try one more news of the weird. Okay. A group of dogs made a run for it in Texas last weekend after a 38-year-old man broke in and freed them all from an animal shelter. Police in Abilene, Texas announced that a man had been arrested after he hopped a fence, went into the building, and let 150 dogs free.
Now that's weird. Woo!
I don't know. Maybe we don't do this segment anymore. It doesn't seem like a good fit for us.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying to.
It's not you. I mean, it is you, but it's like it's more just like. I feel like they do it on like Jimmy
How about
Fallon.
this? How about like this one? It'd be like John Weird was quite upset when he picked up the local news of the weird and found out it had nothing to do with him. That's weird.
That would also be weird. You seem to think there's a finite amount of weird news stories. There could be millions and millions of them. That would also be a weird one.
Got it.
But can't. What I'm saying is you can't just make up a fake headline. That's fake. I hate to say fake news because that term has been, but that would be imaginary news.
Got it. Okay.
That's kind of anything. I'm reading actual things that happen.
Oh, so these are real things that happen that are funny, but also like it's like a little bit off a center.
Yes.
I'll try one. Let me try one. Let me try one. I'm gonna look right here. I'll pull up the news story right here.
Also,
Okay,
before you read it, it might be a good time to do one of the product plugs if you want to, if it feels organic.
Okay, got it.
Or after, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Okay. Okay, this is a good one. I got a great one here for you. Okay. Okay. Tornado spotted at Disney World. Everybody better get your Tropicana orange juice and bring it back to your room because you're going to want to duck and take cover. It's not the happiest place on earth. It's the windiest place on earth.
Sorry. So to be clear, did this happen? Is there a tornado at Disneyland?
Well, they said there's a tornado spotted at Disney World. Yeah.
Okay. So, but
That's
the other
weird.
thing, and you just kind of shoehorned in a product plug. Is that what? I'm asking?
Okay. Well, okay. Wait, hold on. Like, how about? All right. How about? Okay. I got a good one. Okay. This is gonna be really good. Okay. Roger Federer says he is Federer up with tennis and wants to retire to have more time with his Nikon Coolpix camera.
Okay, Paul.
Yeah.
This is a real headline, so I applaud you for that. Roger Federer is retiring.
Yeah.
But you can't just say it in a weird way. You're taking a normal headline.
Up. Yeah.
Yeah, you're taking a normal headline. You're presenting it in a weird way. That isn't weird news. Like, this is just a straight story. Roger Federer is retiring. That's a fact.
Yeah.
But you're saying it in a weird way, and you're adding like in a little pun to make it weird. And then you also kind of tacked on another product placement for Tropicana, which I don't think I don't think we're going to get the money.
I don't get it.
Well, don't worry about it. We don't have to do it. We don't have to do anything you don't want to do.
I just didn't get it.
We're just practicing.
All right.
For BossCon. All of this is just practicing for BossCon.
Okay, we'll get it. We'll get it going. We'll get
Eventually
it going.
We will. Hey, I haven't talked to my lawyer about this yet, but thinking about BossCon and some of the different events and stuff that we can do you think a kissing booth should we?
Well, that's a 7 minutes in heaven. We got to do that in the van, right? Or you want to
okay.
Or, unless we can get somebody from the show to do kisses.
I thought the 7 minutes in heaven I thought was more like a little bit
anything goes. This
kissing
booth is more the PG
kissing booth
thing.
is more innocent. Yeah. I think kissing booth, you can make money. We can make a lot of money off that.
With like a Catherine Hellman impersonator. She played Mona on the show. Oh, okay. Here's somebody put a weird news story here. This is Hot Brown Water. Here's a weird news story.
This is true.
True story.
Yeah.
A semi in Oklahoma crashed.
You can just say it normal. You can just say it normal.
True story. A semi in Oklahoma crashed.
Great.
I don't want to read the rest. The rest is dirty.
But that's the weird part. It was
I don't want to be filthy in front of everybody here. We have 12 and 14-year-olds.
The load was lube and dildos. That was on.
I don't know why do you have to resort to filthy talk. We've talked about that.
Sex toys are just inanimate objects. I mean, like.
Oh my gosh, Rob. I'm sorry to derail us. I know we have to get back to episode 3. Have you watched Chad and JT Go Deep?
I've done their podcast a couple times or one
really?
time. Yeah, they're super sweet guys. I really like them. I've only seen I think episode 1.
Okay.
Where it's on Netflix, right?
Yes, it's really funny. It's produced by Tim and Eric.
Yeah, super funny. They're this, for people that don't know, those are the guys that kind of got famous for going to public what do they call it? Just public hearings, like your town hall meeting, local communities. And where the board of directors or whatever, the town hall has to sit there and listen to people from the public, and they very sincerely get up and talk about
building
stuff.
A Paul Walker statue,
or sunning their buttholes, or whatever it is. And they never break. They're very straight up about it.
You might recognize one of the characters. He was the guy in the donut shop in the season of Barry. But they did a thing that was so funny on that show where they said it's kind of like it's weird. It's not really a prank show, but it's like they interact with real people and it's really great. But they did a bit where they were selling recycled sex toys in front of a Whole Foods. So people were coming out and then they were like, yeah, these are all used sex toys. And it was so interesting to see like how people are like, no, we've cleaned them, but yeah, you can use them. And they're like, and it was just so funny to see people. It's a great bit. That show is really funny.
They're super funny.
Yeah.
I think that also kind of like their superpower is that they are they're so sincere and they seem almost sweet. They kind of are like surfer dudes.
Yeah.
Their persona, but they're not like aggro and they're not like dicks. They're like super nice, so they can kind of get away. They kind of get away with anything.
But they're not making fun of people in a way. It's like they are like they themselves are part of the joke. It's
like they're the dumb ones.
Yeah. I will bring in this interviewer in 1 second. I just want to show you.
Let's put a clock on this because I don't like.
We'll put a clock on. Yeah, we'll put a clock on.
I know the first question is going to be, how short is Paul? And
I don't answer that.
Don't answer it, Paul.
I'm going to just show you. I just want to show you another clip of CM Punk eating this muffin because I think you'll like this. Here we go.
Okay.
This is him getting the muffin out.
That's a fact. And as soon as we discovered that fact and we subpoenaed old Marcia, he sent the email, oh, can we please drop all this? Now, it's 2022. I haven't been friends with this guy since at least 2014, late 2013. And the fact that I have to sit up here because we have irresponsible people who call themselves EVPs and couldn't fucking manage a target, and they spread lies and bullshit and put into a media
He's
that
gonna get
I got somebody fired when I have fuck all to do with him, want nothing to do with him, do not care where he works, where he doesn't.
He's gonna grab it in 1 second.
Where he eats, where he sleeps. And the fact that I have to get up here and do this in 2000.
What's he upset about?
Is fucking embarrassing. And
it's a very long story, but basically a lot of people believe that he like kind of backstabbed a friend, and depending on where you fall on this, it can go either way.
Did I ever do in this?
It's a lot of he
world
said
to deserve an empty-headed fucking dumb fuck like Hangman Adam Page to go out on national television,
so angry,
and fucking go into business for himself. For what?
Now
what did I do, Dave? What did I ever do? Didn't do a goddamn thing. What's your name, sir?
D'Angelo.
Fuck the Pittsburgh Penguins. What are you doing?
I'm from Pittsburgh. I made it really clear.
All right, so
this shit was none of their business. I am fucking business. The first million.
Oh, I guess he opened up the thing. Oh, there. Here he goes.
Why now? Why is MJF back in the fold now? How do you both feel about him being around? How do you feel about the time he spent away? All of that.
Well, if I may, I am the one who asked him to come back because MJF's a big star in this company, and this is one of the biggest events. A year ago, CM Punk debuted here, and I thought it was right for the fans. And like I said, for the fans, I thought the best thing that we could do as a company was bring MJF back.
He wants me to work with pricks constantly. That's what it is.
Nevertheless, two of the top wrestlers in the world, MJF and CM Punk.
And then he starts
big match down the line.
Sorry to keep bringing this fucking up, but I've never spoken his word, and I don't know.
He then goes into talking about how good the bakery goods are and then gives a plug to the baker. I just think it's so funny to see someone eating baked goods being this mad.
But this seems real. Like he seems
it is real.
Legit.
It is real. It is very real. And it is the muffin just keeps on going there. And I got to find the time code because when he starts talking about how good this bakery is and you should go to the bakery.
Yeah,
it's like,
but I'm confused. I get confused because he does. Someone said he looks like John Hamm. He looks a little bit like John Hamm, a little bit like Christian Bale.
Yeah.
But I'm confused about like if wrestling is, fairly scripted, at least as far as the outcomes.
There's a lot of
this is
a drama. This is like a drama between. This is kind of like a real deal drama, like. So I'm a little bit like fuzzy on all the specifics, but basically what's gone on in here is that these two guys are friends. People felt like CM Punk backstabbed this other guy, Colt Cabana. There was a lawsuit, and then because of the lawsuit, Colt Cabana lost a lot of money, but now he's kind of like finally talking about it. He never really talked about it. And he felt like he gotten past this because it happened like 10 years ago. And then he gets into AEW and he's like one of the most highest rated wrestlers. People tune in for his matches. He's a very popular guy. And then people behind the scenes start getting jealous of him and start spreading more rumors about him. And then those rumors kind of overtake his moment of getting to be the champion of AEW. And it starts to like poison the well of people against him. So he starts to become this villain, even though he's in this moment of like meteoric rise. So it's sort of like he's mad that people are talking shit on him. Real people. This has nothing to do with what's happening in the ring. This all has to do with everything happening outside of the ring. Yeah.
It's amazing that there's like press conferences for like,
yeah.
Where will this be written about? Like where
there are tons of Freddie Prinze Jr. has a wrestling podcast. Like people, this is a big business. Like wrestling blogs. Like
I know that it's like huge. I didn't know that there are like people that just write about it. Like
it's like, I mean, like that's what I'm saying. Like that those shows are rated highly, and then there's like multiple websites and journalists who do all the reporting on it and break it down. Yeah, it's a pretty great.
Who was the wrestler that we had on here that time? He was a cool guy.
He's in AEW as well, and his name is oh my gosh, I'm just blanking on his name. Really great guy. I'm just blanking on his name right now.
That's okay. That's okay.
All right, but we have So we have a by the way, Freddie Prinze Jr. show. Is this right? Infrafran. It's called Prince and Friends on the Benz.
Paul, I want to throw down the gauntlet to this reporter I just don't want to talk about your height. I'm really worried it's going to come up.
He won't talk about the height. I'll tell you this is how Jack set it up. Jack said, okay, I have a quick, I'm going to give him all the steps. So we can start the timer when he gets in. I have a school assignment where I have to interview someone in the industry doing what I want to do post-graduation. Would you be up for having me interview Rob and I? I'm paraphrasing here. And so that's it. So basically he's going to,
so this is for his college class. If memory serves, and I hope I'm not talking out of school here, this is Jack that came to our show and we interviewed him, and there was a situation that he got himself in with a professor. Is that not the same guy?
Yes, there were. I mean, but that's a longer story that I don't think this audience even knows. But I will say
as background, is it helpful for them to know that he briefly dated a professor?
Well, that his professor might have,
or his professor catfished him.
No, we don't. I don't think we. I don't want to get into.
We won't even get into it. We'll edit this part out.
All right. So, all right, Jack will come on.
Okay.
He has,
and he's not going to talk about your height.
Not going to talk about the height. All right. So bring on Jack, Molly. Welcome, Jack.
Hello.
Hello, Jack.
You have
the clock.
Yeah,
Jack,
start the clock. Let's give him 7 minutes.
Clock.
7 minutes. And if it goes well at 5, we'll give you an extra 2. That's what they said at Letterman.
Let's stop the clock for just 1 second. Jack, I'm sorry for bringing up the thing about your professor. Do we need to address it or not address it?
Not address it. It's all good.
Not address it.
Yeah, not address it.
Okay. But just for my own brain, and we'll edit it out. Did you briefly date one of your professors?
No.
Got it.
No.
Okay, great. Now,
did he catfish you?
It was so my friend, as a joke, used his picture to, I guess, message everybody in the school on the same app.
Okay. It was your friend fucking with you. I see. But you were kind of into this professor, and then found out that okay. I'm messing it all up. Okay.
All right. Here we go. This is what we got. Jack, remember, don't mention my height. Molly has a timer going. We're going to have 5 minutes. And if you get through 5, we'll give you a bonus question. Here we go. And start the timer.
Okay. So there's 3 questions I have to ask just for my professor. So I'm just going to get those out of the way. So first question is, what advice would you give to a film student just starting out?
I'll start. Paul is only 4 feet tall. So
God damn it. You shouldn't have brought that up.
Taller. You want to be taller than 4 feet in Hollywood because the camera, there's so many other actors. There's so many other actors that the discrepancy would be, jolting to most viewers.
It's called an apple box, and people could use an apple box.
Be tall. That's my advice.
To a film student, I would say, write something personal first, so you feel like you actually have a handle on it. and then maybe go. It doesn't have to be about your life, but it has to be something that you really personally connect with. Don't just try to copy something because you feel like you're following the popularity, of what's out there. That's what I would say.
Can I ask a question? Sorry, Jack. This is for a film class.
Yes.
Okay. My real answer: use the first one, but if they allow a second one, I don't know the rules. I would say try to make stuff with your friends. That's where Paul and I came from when we started doing Human Giant. It was just a total goof around with our friend Aziz and Jason, and it was just for fun. And then it became something else, and we got a TV show out of it. So my advice is to try to make stuff with your friends.
Yep.
Okay.
Find people who get you and then continue to work with them. Okay. Next question. Question 2.
What are some self-care and stress management tips you have for someone starting out in this field?
This is from your professor?
Surprisingly, yes, it is.
Asking about self-care. Is your professor male or female? It doesn't matter.
You know what? You don't need self-care. Fucking work. Self-care when you get paid. Don't worry about self-care then. Hustle until you get paid.
Be on time. Be on time. Be on time. Show up. Be dependable. A lot of people don't know how to get to auditions. A lot of people don't know how to get to the set when they're shooting. Fucking GPS it the night before. Be on time and be willing to do what other people won't do. Be prepared,
But I will also say this, 2 things. If something feels uncomfortable and you don't want to do it, don't do it. But that's not self-care. But my self-care
we
would
don't
be this.
need intimacy coordinators, Paul. If that's
you see that, don't go down that road. Here's what I would say is you are the self-care tip. Oh my gosh. Don't look at anybody else's paper. Focus on your own stuff. Don't worry about who's getting ahead, who did this, who got that, who did this. Just focus on your own stuff. When you start to look at the world and compete with the world, just compete with yourself. That will help you.
Yeah. My last real thing, someone's quoting me in the thing, be prepared to do what other people won't do. That sounds bad. What I meant is a lot of people don't know their lines. They haven't thought about what they're going to do. I'm talking from an actor's perspective. I don't know what a director is doing to prepare or what the grips are doing or the lighting guys. But as far as, I don't know, as far as like self-care stuff, I don't think you'd worry about that at the beginning. Worry about that later.
Self-care is a weird term. Like I understand like maybe like the idea of like, don't take notes from somebody that you don't respect or don't think is looking out for the best interest of you.
Oh,
but that's
yeah,
not
that's
self-care, but that's like not self-care. That's like just how to work in the business. All right, next question.
Okay. What are some problems you faced when you first started out and how did you navigate them?
I was bald as a young man, so I was forced to wear a hat. I think that really helped. A Human Giant never saw me without a hat or a wig. I feel like I really, that's a tricky one.
True. Some problems when you're first starting out. I think that one problem is that a lot of writing stuff that you read is not very good. Like people will send you stuff when you're just starting out that isn't that great because the good stuff goes to the like famous people. So you might get stuff when you're starting out. Again, this is just as an actor. I don't know about directors and other stuff, but you get stuff that's not that great. So I think that you should be willing to say no to stuff. Like there's a big tendency when you're just starting out of like, oh, I should do everything. I should just take anything that comes my way. Some of it is crap and it's never going to see the light of day, especially now. So be willing to say no to crappy stuff and be willing to write your own stuff with your friends.
What was your question again, Jack?
Things that we had to overcome at the beginning.
Yeah.
I would say the other thing to overcome is don't worry about creating a career. Just create a first step. Make small steps. Like, I feel like a lot of the times I talk to people and they're like, how do I get an agent and a manager? As if an agent and manager who signs somebody who has nothing on the table yet is going to pay any attention to you. Like that's a true statement. Like the idea like that, like you have to have somebody that gets invested in your talent and what you're good at, and that has to, I think, often come from something that you've done or produced, or like on some level. Like people have to come, like whether you do a great show, whether you're a great stand-up, whether you made a great short film, whatever it is, then you get people behind your team. I think people always want to shoot like 10 steps ahead. Just worry about like the next logical step. Don't worry about, oh, I don't want to do that because that's not like an Oscar movie. Just do the things that like can get you to the next step. Like I would say go slow, Serpico.
Okay. And I have, what made you specifically want to get into writing and performing comedy? Who or what are your comedic influences?
Is this a professor question?
This is a me question, actually.
All right.
Oh God, come on, Jack. You can do better. You can do
Up
so
the
much
questions.
better than this.
I do have others.
Yeah.
Pick your best question. Pick
You
your
don't
best
care.
question.
You don't care who we liked as comedians. Come on.
That's a bullshit question.
It's a bullshit question. This is a film school class question. Come on.
Like, what is that going to help anybody? Who we liked? Who do you like?
Who the fuck cares?
I do have, how has studying and practicing improv helped you guys as writers?
Good question.
That's a great question.
Okay. My real advice to anyone that's an actor is learn to improvise. And I'm not saying that we're great improvisers or anything, but learning to improvise, all that is writing. You are learning to write on your feet. You are writing a scene with someone else as you're doing it. It's something we all do every day. When you bump into a friend that you haven't seen at the coffee place, you're like, hey, what's going on, man? I haven't seen you in a long time. You're thinking, you're improvising. Oh shit, what else do I ask about? What else do I ask about? So it's something we do all the time, but learning to improvise helps your writing so much, because it just kind of lets you see things in a different way. I think it just really opens up your brain. It's also really fun. So I think learning to improvise is like a big thing.
I would also say that everything that Rob said is true, but also the great thing about improv is it's disposable. You can be a little bit like, you can just toss it. It goes away. So I think when you approach writing or making something, you have a freedom to be like, oh, let's just try that. Let's just experiment. Like you don't get caught in your ways. And I think when you have that improv background of saying yes and, which is like that main tenet of improv, it's teaching you how to work well with your crew, with other people around you. Like you're saying, yes, I like what you're saying. Let me add to that instead of just no, but. And I think that that's a very important way, because all this business is collaboration on every level. And if you are constantly telling people that you're saying no to them, you're going to find yourself getting a smaller and smaller group of people who want to work with you, because you're not letting their voice be heard.
Great answer. Can I add something to what Paul said? I assume when I get hired, and I know Paul thinks this probably also, that you want me to also improvise. So, every show has a written script. So you show up and you do that script. But I always, at this point, assume that you want me to come up with some of my own shit also, to try to add to it, make it better, so that when they're editing it, the movie, the TV show, when they're editing it, they have choices. Because the last thing you want when they're editing the movie is to only have what you wrote. That's all.
We're at 9 minutes. We did 9 minutes. 9 minutes. That's it.
Sorry.
All right. Last question, Jack. Last question. Quick one.
All right. Last question. How has producing shows on Twitch every week changed the way that you write comedy?
It hasn't.
Oh, that's a great question.
No, it hasn't changed.
We're just doing a lot. We're just doing
this is my opportunity to dick around with Paul. That's all.
We had a chance to do like our show, and we get to do it with a different audience.
And we make a fuckload of money.
You're out of here, Jack. Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of here.
All right. Molly said cut. We're done.
People may think that we don't know him and that we were being rude. We know Jack. He lives in LA, and I think he's been on the show before. Yeah, he's been on the show.
He's been a good guy. But all right, so Rob, some other stuff. Let's Molly, do you have the you know what I found? Speaking about starting out, I found this. Check this out.
Are we going to reflect on his interview at all? How do you think we did?
I think we did great. No one's gonna have answers like that from real live filmmaker Rob Hubel and Paul Scheer.
But he wasn't writing it down. I mean,
he's gonna just clip this.
Oh, he'll watch this and then transcribe it.
Yeah.
But exactly. What do you think his professor will like us?
Well, not after we ridiculed his questions.
Oh no.
The self-care question, like honestly, that's putting the cart before the horse. Like, let's not worry about how you get self-care.
You know what I love to do is after a difficult role, I like to go to the spot. Fuck, what kind of question is that?
All right, here's a thing. Here's a thing that we should talk about. Well, I'll show you this. Well, no, I don't even know. Should we pop in the do we have the show ready to go? The Hickey episode. Okay. Let's watch the first line. As always, we break down the first line of every Who's the Boss to see how they set up. We're talking about great filmmaking, and we're going to do that right here. The great filmmaking of Who's the Boss. All right, Molly, can you pop it open for our first line? Here we go.
What's with Angela? Tough day at the office? Did Mona mess up your lunch order again, Angela?
Yes, as a matter of fact, she did. But I wouldn't be upset over a petty thing like that. I wouldn't let her sit by the window on the train.
Freeze.
Well, it was my turn.
Wow. That was a long way to go for that opening joke.
So the writer's room had a week to come up with this script and this joke. And the first joke is that what was it that she couldn't sit, she was supposed to let Mona sit by the window on the train?
I guess Mona and Angela are working together. Maybe it feels like the context clues I'm getting, because we haven't seen the whole series yet, is that Mona is now Angela's assistant. And Mona messed up a lunch order, but we're still not getting a joke. But then the end joke is she's upset because Mona didn't let Angela sit by the window of the train, like what you would do to a child.
Can we back up a little bit?
Yeah.
Can you just refresh my memory of what is the setup for the show? The premise of Who's the Boss?
Okay, great idea. Tony Maselli is a former baseball player who had a shot at success and missed that shot. Something happened to him. I think he was, I think some kid threw a pebble at him and it blinded him in his right eye. So he could never hit fastballs again. And he decides, well, you know what? I was going to make all my money as a Major League Baseball player, but instead what I'll do is become a housekeeper to people in Connecticut. So he takes his daughter.
So he's I mean, you're giving me way too much. So he is a former baseball player that is now a housekeeper for a family. Is that
yes?
It?
Former baseball player who becomes a housekeeper / nanny.
Why? For if you're a pro baseball player, why would you just become a nanny for a manny?
I mean, look, family? It was the 80s, and I guess they thought was that was a lot of baseball players did that.
And she's a single mom.
She's a single mom. Her husband at one point we saw. We were going to play the second part of that episode, but her husband wants custody of Danny Pintaro. That's her son. But we're going to play that episode on Christmas Eve at 10 p.m. So you'll get to go in that one. We'll go there. But this is Tony Maselli he has a daughter, and the daughter. So basically it's like mother and father that don't kiss but have sexual tension with two kids. Okay. One's a tough kid. One's kind of a nerdy kid. And then you got the mom in there too, who lives above the garage, who dates young men.
Okay, thank you. So can we hear that first joke again?
Yeah, and by the way, Ainsley brings up a really interesting point, which is the general premise is hilarious that a man would be someone that would be cleaning the house. It was the 80s, so that really was the big get. The big get was like, it wasn't like, it wasn't Mr. Belvedere. It's like, oh my gosh, look at this little punk.
Right.
Cleaning a house. Yeah, we liked men cleaning houses back then. That was that was a really crazy. That was an equal opportunity show there. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Mother.
Hi, Tony.
What's with Angela? Tough day at the office? Did Mona mess up your lunch order again, Angela?
Yes, as a matter of fact, she did. But I wouldn't be upset over a petty thing like that. I wouldn't let her sit by the window on the train. Well, it was my turn.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. So we edited. That was a big lead up to I think a really exciting payoff.
Yeah. I'm on board with this family. I like them. I think they're likable. they seem funny and they care about each other. Can I see a little bit more of the show? I mean,
Yeah.
I really haven't gotten a chance to.
By the way, Pancake Catastrophe does write that, one of the things to keep in mind is that Mona is always horny. It really does help with the subtext. But I think what I really like here is that honestly, that Angela is someone who's put together, a businesswoman, a self-made woman who still likes sitting by the window on the train. Like that makes her likable. That's something that they call it the save the cat moment. That's the save the cat moment right there.
Okay.
I have no idea. I can't believe it.
Hey, whatever happened to hi?
Hi. Guess what? I got asked to the party by the coolest kid in school.
Oh.
You mean the Chad McCann? No, Angela, the Todd Phillips.
Pause. Todd Phillips, the famous movie director
who directed The Joker, The Hangover 1, The Hangover 2, The Hangover
was
3.
dating Alyssa Milano in the sitcom.
I mean, the ages are right. I like that. This is now, we are so thrown into a plot. This is kind of like James Joyce in tone. We're hearing about kids. We're seeing the relationship of parents. We're seeing the involvement of a stepmother who's not a stepmother. This is very exciting.
Can I ask about this? What's Tony Danza's name on the show?
Tony Maselli.
Oh, okay, his name's Tony. He seems like he's not an employee that works there. Does he live with them?
He does also live with them. Mona lives above the garage.
Okay.
I believe that Tony lives in the house.
Okay. And who's this fucking guy, Chad, who thinks he's so cool at high school?
Well, we don't know. I mean, Chad was last week, and this week it's Todd Phillips. And I imagine that Todd Phillips might be the person responsible for the titular Hickey, as the episode is called, the Hickey.
All right, let's try to find that part.
Yeah, Molly, if you want to try to find that part, Rob and I can kind of continue to, I mean, I'm already invested in this story in the sense that
I want to address something that's been going on in the chat that this is just a subplot. You know how sometimes on the show there'll be like a little small thing. People are really curious about our hydration.
I saw that.
Like you're drinking out of your regular size water bottle. Oh, and then you have a tiny one. So your regular one obviously gives away how small you are. I'm drinking out of this water bottle, but I'm also drinking a beer out of a straw.
Oh,
and
nice.
then some eagle-eyed viewers saw me take a sip of my paint cup. I am drinking paint also. I do have tiny little cups of paint that I've been drinking of. So I just wanted to tell people, anytime you have a question about
hydration,
our real lives, or what we're doing, that's fine. You can ask us any question you want.
Just like Jack, you'll get
just like Jack. If anyone has a question about our lives, we'll stop the show and address it. Usually, I think.
Yeah, I will say this too. What people don't understand is the show is run on an influx of urine into the way that my internet runs is a system that Ed Begley Jr. set up, which is my house is powered by urine. So the more liquids I drink, I can keep.
So you have a catheter. Your catheter tube goes from your urethra out. Does it plug into your computer directly?
Yes,
into your computer?
Right into my computer. Yeah, and that's actually fuels the whole thing. And I do it on a PC because I need much more urine to fuel the Mac.
Okay.
All right, so let's see.
This is the Hickey right here.
This is about 21 minutes.
I was just gonna go upstairs and. What are you doing down here? I mean, not up there.
I kind of snuck out of my room to see Todd tonight.
Well, then you better start talking fast, young lady.
Okay, well, that's.
I don't want to hear it. I can't believe you do this, Sam. I thought we had this great talking that we really understood each other. But you didn't hear one word I said.
Yes, I did. I just thought that you were wrong.
Of course. You're 14. I'm over the hill. What do I know?
May I say something?
Can I stop you?
You're the mom.
Yeah. Well, she's not the mom.
Tony, you know how I hate to be a Budinsky.
Pause it for one
No,
second,
dear,
Rob.
you like
If
Oh,
you are
sorry. I'm confused.
Rob, if you're confused, Judith Light is not the mom.
Oh, is that
Sam.
his daughter?
That's his daughter.
Paul, you gotta tell me, man.
I
You
said that
have
he
to-
moved from Brooklyn with his. It's like we've never done this show before. He's moved from Brooklyn with his daughter. The mom is out of the picture.
I know this. I'm trying to help the listeners.
Of course.
Okay.
Just if anyone can do a quick Google search, was the mom because we haven't gotten to it yet, was the mom ever introduced? Do we ever get any flavor about the mom? Was she played by someone that we all recognized? Was it played by Demi Moore? I don't know. Mom's dead. Mom is dead.
Okay. The mom was murdered. Do we know?
Mom
that?
was murdered.
Okay.
Mom was murdered in a triple homicide.
Did Tony murder the wife, the mom? We don't know.
He was a suspect because he was the last one to see her alive. But what they believe is the subway stalker got her. The subway stalker was a man who, they think it was a man who went around and had a forceful
people are
forceful push.
So mad in the comments that I did not know that was his daughter.
Look, you know what? That's what part of the fun show.
It's a new. We're all, look, I'm busy. I'm trying to do self-care.
Look, we all have to. It was an accident.
Are we going to see the hickey, or are we not going to see the hickey?
Yeah, Molly. Let's see. Is there more hickey here?
Remember communication, the bridge.
Oh,
The bridge? The bridge is out. You defied me, Samantha. You snuck out of this house to meet a boy that I said was off limits.
Dad, I had to see him. I was afraid if I didn't show up, he wouldn't ask me out again.
Oh, Samantha.
But Dad, when I got there, he did everything you said he'd do.
Everything?
He tried, but I didn't fall for it. It's amazing. You actually knew what you were talking about.
Okay, can we pause it
pause.
for a second? How old is this child supposed to be on the show? This is upsetting to me. I have a daughter.
I mean, this is season 3.
But is she a teenager, or
Well,
is
I'm gonna
the
find
way
out
she
right now.
talks? She
Well,
sounds like she's like 6 years old.
I mean, she's a little young. I'm going to say that she's 12 here. 14.
Someone says
People say she's 14. 14 years old.
Okay.
Time to get hickeys. Do you remember when hickeys were all the rage? I feel like hickeys were made. Now, I feel like the hickey.
It's still big. It's
people
still
say
big.
she's 13.
13. I don't know. That's hot brown water. You can't listen to what she says. She has
So
no
I think the hickey
information.
was introduced before, but then yet she went out again to meet up with Todd Phillips.
Yeah, the director, Todd Phillips of the Joker.
Yeah, somebody said this, that she's 14, but it's 80s 14, which is really like 22.
But she just seems so young to be talking about this guy that wants to do everything with her, but she stopped it. Like,
can I just say something too?
Yes,
I know, yeah.
Finally, please.
Judith Light, when you watch her in that scene, and I'm being very sincere when I say this, is really like acting.
Yeah.
Like really like connected. And I feel like she's there. And then when you watch Tony Danza,
different.
It is like it is.
Yeah.
It is like clown school. It is, and it is. But I think maybe that's the secret sauce of that show. I mean, that is some wild performance.
Well, I mean, Judith is a really great actor, and like she, I think that's sometimes what you get on sitcoms is that people are like, some people are like really gonna do the emotional thing of this or whatever this would be, and then other people are like, well, I'll just make funny faces, and
Yeah, my gosh. Well, people say Judith is stepping wolf in it here. Can we always do with the last line of the
let's
episode?
go to the last line. Yeah. And we got to wrap it up because I got to go to my glute workout.
Okay, yeah, I got to hit my glute workout too. Okay, here we go. Okay. Every time we start off the show, we think it's going to go for 20 minutes. That's the show is always supposed to be 20 minutes. It always goes a little bit longer.
Literally be like any other recap where it's like a 20-minute discussion and that's it. And we're an hour and 45 in. Yeah, we had a kid come on and interview us for his college. I mean,
but did you see his hickey?
I didn't. I'll go back and rewatch it.
Yeah. All right, here we go. All right, what do we got? Last line.
Is it Molly or is it me?
Molly's queuing it up right now. She's queuing it.
Man, Putin is really short.
My wife just texted me that my son just said, "Mom, if I had a time machine, I would go back in time and ride every water slide again."
Do they love water slides?
They love water slides. We went.
Wait, what water slide? Oh, at California.
No,
California?
we just went to that big water park out here in California. It's
Piss Town.
Piss Town. We went to Piss Town, USA, and it was so much fun. No, we actually went to I want to say it's Raging Waters. It's in San Dimas, right? And it's San Dimas, California, where Bill and Ted are from. And we went there on a.
Did you go there because Bill and Ted are from there?
We had to go there because of Bill and Ted. We have to visit all the sites. So we go there, and it was after the season had ended, but the kids had a half day of school. So we went there, and we were like, "Oh, let's rent the cabana so we could like throw all of our shit in the cabana." And then in the cabanas they were real like. I don't want to say rancid, but they were not fancy in any level. And I go to the attendant. I go, "Oh, how much to rent a cabana?" And she goes, "Oh, $700." I go, "I'm sorry, I'm like, does that come with anything?" And she's like, "No, I'm gonna show you the price list next time." I go, "It doesn't come with anything."
We should have started the show with this.
I was
we
like,
should have started. You buried this the whole show.
I was like, not
$700. Did you pay that?
I mean, no, I didn't. I was like, "Well, what? Okay, does that come with like food or drink or anything?" She's like, "No." And I go, "All right, well,
bottle
what,
service."
So I paid. And by the way, I'm not happy about this. And I only did this because I wouldn't normally do this. I paid $149 for a cabana.
Paul,
it was way too much.
Paul,
and that is some weird news.
Oh no, that's not the way you do it. You don't just tell a personal story and say it's weird news. But
here's the last line.
Okay, but the guys had a great time at Raging Waters.
Oh my God, they had an amazing time. Here we go.
I lost out to Poindexter Carp. Honey, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
All right.
So let me unpack this. Let me unpack this. First of all, who is this kid?
That's her son.
I'm joking. I'm trying to get everybody upset. I know that that's her son. I know the dynamic. So I don't know who Poindexter Carp is. I guess he.
I have a theory. From context because I have a theory.
So you think Danny is his name? Danny, that little boy.
Yes.
What's his name? Okay.
Oh no, his name on the show is Jonathan.
Oh, Jonathan. Do you think Jonathan got a hickey from Poindexter Carp? Is that
no? What I think happened is this. Tony freaked out that that
also the premise of this show is a recap. We watched 1 second at the beginning, 1 second at the end, and try to figure out. We're trying to figure out what's going on.
I'm 90% sure we got it. So I have a feeling that Tony is upset that Alyssa Milano is going up too fast. She comes home with a hickey. He's very upset. He's like, "You can't see that boy ever again." And Angela says to Tony, "Look, that's a daughter. You got to let her do things. You got to let her make mistakes. But I don't want to make her make the wrong mistakes. Like if you teach her the right thing, she'll make the right mistakes."